Don't forget the maybe, baby. As Mike would say, same old show, just a new year. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But guess what? We still gonna enhance it.
Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help.
I'm scared of dating, because what if we don't break up?
Or you could just send them a message and say, man, have you seen I lost my feelings for you?
Damn. Have you ever struggled with the breakup?
I've told some people, like, you know what, I can't do this shit no more.
Great person, but you just not for me.
Someone said, real growth starts when you're tired of your own shit. What we've been talking about, man, just being able to look in the mirror first.
The only toxic relationship I ever had is the one I had with myself. Everyone else was just a reflection of that.
Come on, Jesus.
Golly, what more do you need to say? You attract more opportunities once you are calm, because no one wants to deal with people who lack emotional control.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Maybe This Will Help.
I thought we was mature in 2022. That's my bad.
Maybe this will help. Will this help you?
Don't forget the maybe, baby. Don't forget the maybe, baby.
All I'm saying is we need to get in the studio.
Baby.
It's showtime. Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help.
Oh, yeah. I see how you snuck that one in there. That was hilarious.
That's what she said. Hey, look, man.
That was classic. That was classic.
Hey, I miscarry sometimes, man. That one, bro. You know, it's weird. We got these things on this show that every now and then we can put this one thing up and it just brings a smile to our face, man. And I think that we need to keep those life hacks. Like I hope y'all have them even outside of the podcast. There's different things you can look at on your phone, or I know Dub does. Whenever I'm in a weird mood, Dub got a list of things on YouTube he can put on at any given moment to make me watch, or it's something he didn't send me that he's seen online that just, no matter what mood you're in, man, no matter if you're mad at your spouse or if you're mad at God, it send it to you and it just put a little bit of joy on you, man. I think we need those things, man. So
I can't get that. I can't get the ones you used to send me though, Donnie, because I blocked Pornhub from my phone. So the ones you used to send me, I can't get those no more. Yeah.
Well, this is a guarantee. This is always a guaranteed pick me up right here, bro.
I guarantee you pick me up. All right, I hear you.
Picking up those cheeks.
Wow. Yo, Reggie Reg, what up, man?
Reggie,
I thought that was my boy, Reg. That's your Reg. My bad.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Reg, for tuning in every Sunday, man. That's much love for sure. Appreciate that.
What's popping, McJellen?
Amber J. So what's up, fellas? What's going on? Let's check in. Actually, first, welcome to Maybe This Will Help the podcast. For those that are tuned in every Sunday, or for those that are just tuning in, we appreciate you coming on in. About to have a great show. Fellas, what's good?
God is good.
Right?
God is good.
Whoa, I get that.
Oh, gang bang, God is good, huh?
Hey,
all right.
You get to have it. Stay off the street. You stay on the sidewalk. I mean, the streets around the real life.
Wow.
No, all right. I want to go ahead and check in, man. So I can my check-in is just kind of related to y'all, man. I'm just so happy. I didn't get a chance to watch all of last week's episode, but from what I saw, man, when I say you brothers held it down in a very original and unique way, man, it's different when you are a part of something, you step out on the outside of it, and then that thing blesses you. Like, I tell you guys, we talk about all the time, like, if nobody else is helping this episode, we're going to be helping this episode. But not being on the show, this is my first time, I think, in a long time, not being on the show. Coming back and watching it, and it really did bless me. The stuff y'all was talking about, I was like, yo, this really did help. It just reaffirms in my mind, like, yo, this ministry is really working, man. It's really helping people. And I know it's like my testimony. So I'm grateful for y'all, man. That's part of my check-in. And the other part is I made it back from France with
Hey,
Yeah, no new felonies. People say, that they don't like Americans out there, bro. But I tell you, man, I did not have that experience, man. Maybe it's the energy I carry with me, or the light, or prayer. The people loved on me. I seen every culture, every race out there where I was staying at. It was so diverse. We got a chance to tour a lot of different places. And you guys know how I am about being in social settings. But I told you guys, I've been stretching me at my new job. So I feel like maybe that was preparation for this trip, man. I really thoroughly enjoyed the rest that I got, the company that I kept, the things that I got the chance to see, the food, and I'm very grateful. If y'all haven't seen like a highlight of my trip to Paris, you can go. Mr. McDreamy back in the building. Y'all can go to my Instagram or Facebook page, and I did a 3-minute recap of my trip to Paris, and you can enjoy some of the highlights with me. Yeah, that's my check-in. My brother came to pick me up from the airport. Appreciate you, bro. I think that's I'm getting lonely with it, so I'm gonna shut it off right here.
go ahead, bro.
Who let pick you up from the airport is so good.
Yeah.
Everybody should not be allowed to pick you up from the airport. I have a rule. If anybody ever asks me to pick them up from the airport, I make sure I pick them up in my best energy. I don't care what the traffic was like. I don't care what happened before I got there. I'm either rolling with my music blasting high, a song that they love, or I'm coming in with jokes and hugs. Because after an 11-hour flight, or maybe a 2-hour flight in the airport and all that energy, man. So, Dub, I appreciate how you picked me up, man. You know what I'm saying? You checked in with me like, yo, I'm here. I'm getting close. I didn't see you. You're like, yo, bro, I'm over here. Like, all that. You know what I'm saying? The little stuff, it matters, man. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's good stuff.
Mike, it's on you, Mike.
Oh man, me. I'm good. I'm grateful to be here. You know, I came down with COVID last Monday, and first couple of days was rough, but tested negative. And tested negative again this morning. So happy to be health. Am I back?
You back now?
Am I back? All right.
Yeah, you back now.
I'm gonna get that fixed here in a second. But yeah, so just happy to be back in good health and ready to get back to the gym this week. Other than that, I've just been at the house, just quarantining all week. Got to go outside for the first time and had lunch with Jay, and that was nice. But yeah, man, God is good. I'm here. I'm alive, kicking. Yeah.
Dub Central. What about you, bro?
Oh man, let's see, man. I'm in a good place. You know, I don't even know how to explain it, man. I'm just in a really good place. I'm happy. You know, sometimes, you know, since I've been off of work, it's just been like this little roller coaster, right? Taking some time off of work, it's a little roller coaster, and I do good, and then, you know, something comes and try to attack. You know what I mean? And I'm doing good, and something comes and try to attack, and then, you know, I'm making a point right now to stay in that good place and understand, you know, the things that are allowing me, the things and the people that are allowing me to be good. You know what I mean? And I'm staying in that appreciative place. You know what I mean? So when the other stuff come around, it's just like, okay, you know what? It's frustrating, but I'm good. You know what I'm saying? This happens. Oh man, but I'm good. You know what I mean? So as of right now, man, I'm cool. You know what I mean? I feel my age. I had to order me some senses, bro. I had to order some senses because little joints here. I can't hear you if you say so.
I said you've been going harder in the gym or something?
Nah, it's just not that. It's just like little stuff, like where I fractured my shoulder at. Yeah. Like I'm feeling that starting to, you know, bother me. Like little places on my like my hip every once in a while. And I don't know if it's because of martial arts or because of whatever, but I'm trying to be smart about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's it, man. I'm just trying to be smart about it and just trying to heal the right way and just keep it light when I need to. You know what I mean? And just, just listen to my body. But all in all, man, I'm in a good place. Like I said, the enemy tries to attack sometimes, but I'm cool. You know what I mean? I'm cool.
That goes back to what I used to tell my clients, man. Whatever you acquire requires maintenance. You know what I'm saying to you? So if you get in a good place, almost anybody can get in that good place. They can get in a good relationship, can get in a good job, but can you maintain it? We often think, we talked about it before. We're talking to our nieces and nephews about, I want to get this car or whatnot. Do you know what the oil change is? Do you know what kind of gas it needs? Do you know when to take it in for regular maintenance? Do you know what kind of road to not drive it on? So that you can keep this thing, because the best day of that experience shouldn't just be the first day. Like he said that the honeymoon shouldn't be the highlight of the marriage.
Right.
It's getting better to take care of you.
I'm understanding the importance of being intentional about maintenance when it comes to people. You know what I'm saying? I'm understanding how important being intentional about things, are. I'm understanding the importance of communication.
Yeah.
I'm understanding the importance of, even no matter how big or how small, if something makes you feel a certain way, discuss it. You know what I'm saying? That's not just in romantic relationships, that's in friendships, that's in family, that's in whatever. No matter how big or how small something is, even if things are good, if something happens and it makes you feel a certain way, it's okay to discuss it. It's okay when you have people around who are willing to just say, hey, let's talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? What's wrong? You know what I mean? So I'm understanding how important it is for me to be that person to people around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, give people a space to, if they feel something off from me, they want to talk about it. Hey, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. So I'm just, man, I'm like I said, I'm in a good place, man. I'm in a place of growing, and I'm in a place of just, not being so prideful or arrogant where I can't check myself.
That's good. That's good.
Let me ask you a question about that, Doug. Because I know that before I left, when I came back, me and some people, just not a group of people, but individual people, the energy's kind of been a little weird. And I know some of it probably has to do with me just when I go through transitions, I'm very selective about who I let in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, be willing to talk about it. And I recognize that I think I'm willing to talk, but I'm just not in a place where I'm willing to initiate. As much as I like communication, I know how beneficial it is. Every time I find myself trying to, it's almost like I feel myself saying, hold on, just wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, I know how important it is to the maintenance of the relationship, but sometimes I'm just in a place where I'm saying, man, I can't initiate right now. It's the inside of me or me needs me. So what would you say about a situation like that, man?
I mean, if you feel like, for me, I'm just thinking just based on what you're saying. If you feel like you need you, then you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Because if you feel like you needing you, but then if you have something to discuss and it's putting you in a vulnerable position, if you're not in a solid foundation with yourself, you know what I'm saying? You have to make sure you in a solid foundation with yourself. Because if you kind of rocky within yourself, if you're still not good within yourself, and then you go and have a conversation that's going to potentially put you in a vulnerable position, then, who knows what can happen in that conversation.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. That makes sense, because you want to have at best, you want to be in a place to be able to have a conversation. If it is. Yeah.
Right.
All right, fellas. You got something to add, Mike?
Now I just got this. I don't know if y'all can see it. The census.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Dub told Mike about that.
Yeah, and I got on it, and honestly, I could feel the difference. I could feel the difference after about maybe a week and a half of taking it. You can start feeling the difference as far as like you said, your joints, especially with this shoulder injury I got back on it because of that. So yeah, I I definitely recommend it for those people that have like joint problems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I've been struggling with a shoulder issue, and I totally forgot about it. Like, they can give me some, man. It's good stuff, man. Anybody
now order some, so it should be here tomorrow.
All right.
Yep.
Well, if nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, maybe that helps somebody out there. Like Bill said, somebody out there, they feeling their age. So
you want
to call it again? Check out your screenshot it right now. There it is. You got SSUS. That's right, fellas.
Yep.
All right, cool.
And it's by Nature Bill.
Yes, it's a bunch of different makers. If you Google it, it'll come up. It'll definitely come up.
Oh man! All right, fellas, y'all ready to get into it?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hold on, somebody said something about Mike. What's the bottom of your shirt say?
Oh, so X for a reason, and then it has our little emoji guy on there. X for a reason. So for those that weren't on what was that last year? We did that.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Last year we had a special show, and it was all about the exes. So the good, the bad, the ugly about exes. Like, how do you introduce your ex to your new girlfriend? Do you introduce your ex to your new girlfriend? I mean, is it possible to stay friends after a breakup? We got into some really good stuff, and each one of us had a specific saying on our shirt. So this was mine. X for a reason. You can't go backwards. Sorry.
Yeah.
What was that, Donnie?
My bad. Y'all ready to get into it?
Let's go.
All right, let's get the show started.
Yes.
Let's start like let's start like this. Love and compatibility are two completely different things. Someone can love you and still be unequipped to love you in the ways you require. Let me say that differently. Love and compatibility are two completely different things. Someone can love you and still be ill-equipped to love you in the ways you require. A lot of big words in there, man. A lot of require and love and unequipped. And what y'all thinking? Compatibility versus love versus compatibility.
I think it's possible. It's a lot of times where you meet somebody and you guys have all of this, we're compatible in so many areas. Our interests are the same. We both have children. We both this. We both that. We both that. But that doesn't mean that we can form a bond to where we love each other and can make a romantic relationship work. That just means we could be great friends, or you know what I mean. That just means I just happened to meet somebody who I got a lot in common with. The end.
The end.
So,
just saying.
The end.
Wow, no room for growth in that department.
I mean, it just happens. Like because and I think that a lot of people, start to fantasize about these type of relationships when they do have a lot in common with a person, because I feel like that's what we've been taught. Oh man, find a person that has like interest, and find a person that, you know what I mean, you guys have things in common, and it'll make the relationship easier. I don't agree with that. I don't even know if I want to necessarily be in a relationship where we have everything in common. I want to find out new stuff, and I want to try some stuff that I've never tried before. Maybe something that, you know what I mean, I didn't like, but you like it, so let me try it because you like it, and maybe you know what I mean? I just feel like in situations like that, it could become monotonous when we just both like the same thing and we do the same thing, and you know what I mean, because we're so compatible.
So, but in the beginning, you guys may start off liking all the same things, but remember, as you go through life, what you like changes because your experience is coming. Like, oh, now I like this better, I like that better. So you can look for somebody who's like 100% compatible, 100% like you, but just know it's not going to stay that way probably, because we continue to grow and evolve. Now, I would say the difference for me between the love and compatibility part is kind of like what you were saying, Mike, but I'm saying, what if you meet somebody, great conversation, romance, like chemistry and everything, but compatibility comes in where we can't do purpose together. We can do bedroom together, we can do dating together, we can do traveling together. But when it comes to purpose, can we do purpose together? That for me is that's how I identify compatible at what we've been put on this earth to do. And so for me, like when I've been dating women before in the past, it's like everything's good, but I just can't see myself doing life with you. There's these moments like we can do vacation. I can see myself doing vacation with you. I can see myself doing a weekend thing with you. I can see myself going to the movies with you. But it came to a point to where I had to ask myself, what is it that I want to do with you that I can't do with you as just a friend? Why do I need to step out of this friendship into something greater, not in something greater, into something more evolved, And so that for me, when I think about doing purpose with someone, because again, at the end of this life, I got to give account to God for how I used it. So that's how I look at compatibility.
So let me ask you something, and not to answer, not for you to have to answer right here, but did you figure those things out as to what you need for it to go from friendship to relationship? Like if you have those compatibility, like if you have like things with friends, right? And you care about them, their friends and stuff like that. Have you discovered for yourself, like for you personally, what will it take to say, okay, this person I want more than a friend. This person I want to do life with, or what I'm saying, these are things that I would like, rather not to be this person, but these are things that I would like for a person to have that will move it from friendship to I want to do life with this person.
Yeah, I've been able to answer those questions in some instances, and some I haven't. But one indicator for me that I know that it doesn't give me like a real verbal, like mental visual answer, but I know that I want more when I'm pursuing. If I'm not pursuing, for me, that's an indication that I don't see the need for that person as it pertains to my purpose.
Right.
We can hang out, we can do this, we do that. But when I see, and I have seen women before that I felt like were compatible with my purpose, I approach conversations and I pursue. Like the women that I've liked before, I had to be honest. Like, if I was pursuing you, not even nothing you would do to me, if I inside of me just like had to draw to want to pursue you, that's the evidence that I need, that I know that I'm drawn to you in more than just a platonic capacity.
Okay.
I feel that. So are we all in agreement that there is a difference, though?
Is there a difference between love and compatibility being two different things? I say yeah.
I definitely say yeah. For me, I think it's you can't. For me, just me thinking out loud. I don't think it's just love, and I don't think it's just compatibility, because you can be compatible with somebody in certain areas, but it just still don't work out. Other areas is like major areas that you would need the compatibility is not there, and it's just like, damn, we could be compatible on 8 out of 10 things, but those 2 things are the major things that I need. So in that sense, we can be compatible on those 2 things, and the other 8 things we don't even need to be compatible, but it will still work. Same thing when it comes to love. You can love somebody, you know what I mean, but that's it. If you guys don't have any compatibility, even just on the way you do life, you know what I'm saying, you can love each other all day long, but if you guys don't do life the same, if you guys don't have the compatibility of being able to communicate and being able to comprehend and being able to to do the work, then it doesn't matter about the love. It doesn't matter about the compatibility. If you don't have those key component aspects that you need, it's all for shit.
My mentor told me something recently. He said that sometimes that thing that person is lacking or they're weak in is the exact reason why they need you and you need them. He said that oftentimes we look for people to be strong in areas that we're strong in so that we can have compatibility. But he said what happens at this generation and the generation before, they're kind of scared to say they need somebody. They just want somebody. But he talked about how God made Eve a helpmate for Adam. He needed her. But we want a helpmate, but we don't want to admit that we need somebody. And we don't want to admit that their weakness or their shortcoming or where they're not strong at is exactly where they need us. And our weak coming and shortcoming might be exactly where we need them. Because he said that oftentimes we feel like there's this fear that they won't be reliable or that they're going to let us down and then I'm going to get hurt. So if I don't admit that I need, then that will keep me safe, but it also keeps me limited.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I think that's hard especially speaking from experience that I've had, it's hard because sometimes you can be vulnerable and you can express where you need someone and they're just not willing to grow in that area. You know what I'm saying? Whether if they need to or not, if it's supposed to be there for you to show them, but if they're not willing, and that's why I always say, there's communication, there's comprehension, and then there's willing. If you're not willing, it doesn't matter about needing. It doesn't matter about you even expressing. It doesn't matter about me communicating in a fashion that you would understand. It doesn't matter about you comprehending. If you're still not willing, then everything else goes out the window.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm just at a place in my life where I'm willing to say I'm looking forward to wanting and needing somebody.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I agree 1,000% on that. But even when it comes to, like, in addition to that, not canceling that off, because I absolutely 100% agree. I want to want someone. I want to need them. I want to feel when I'm not with them. I want to feel empty when I'm not with them. Not completely empty, but I want to
breathe when I'm not with you, baby. See, those old songs, but them brothers are telling the truth.
Man, they were.
Take it out there.
The thing that what I added to that is, I want to be able to say, hey, I need you, and I want you to accept the fact that I say that I need you. I don't want you to still have a shitty attitude because I say I need you. Or if I am lacking in a certain area and you can do whatever it is to teach me, I don't want you to just say, oh, nope, you're not doing whatever it is that I want you to do, so I'm just going to take off and I'm going to walk away. Because I've experienced that before. I've experienced when something didn't go the exact same way that a person wanted it to go every single time. Oh, nope, I got to go. Oh, nope, I'm running. Even when I wanted to have a conversation, even when I wanted to address it, even when I wanted to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? That person was just like, nope, I don't care. I'm leaving. I'm quote unquote protecting myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, cool, do what you gotta do. So and that's why for me I add the component of the conversation, the comprehension, and the willingness.
And I take all that and I take it to God in prayer and say, all right, God, what you want me to do about this? Because sometimes we don't know what's best for us. Sometimes we don't really know what we need. And sometimes we're like, God, this God is telling you this is where I want you. That weird craving that you have inside of you, I put that inside of you. I remember I told you guys before I left to go out of town that I was talking to y'all about my first love and how I approached that. It was so much vulnerability, transparency, so many emotions, so much pursuit and aggressiveness. And God said that you had it right the first time. That's how you approach someone that you're interested in. He said what you did was ever since that moment, you started altering how you pursue so that you wouldn't get hurt again. And every time you got hurt, you changed it up just a little bit more. Now the way you do it is so perverted. It's not genuine. It's not sincere. It's not natural. It's so methodical and forced. It can't actually come forward the way I intended for you. He said, go back with all this fear you have and love the way you did the first time. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, I'll try it.
Yeah.
All right, we got the next one then.
Yeah.
That's the case.
Hold on. Oh, okay, go ahead. You already put it.
No, let's go. What you got?
I was gonna say, what if the way you loved the first time wasn't right? What if the way you loved the first time, you know what I'm saying, you didn't know? What if you learning more now how to be vulnerable and how to do things? What if you learning now how to be naked?
I would say he didn't give nobody else that word but me. But if you feel conviction with that word, and that word might be for you, what came to me was that it was never something you had to figure out. You just trusted me. Right. It wasn't about you being skilled and being vulnerable or in communication. I imparted upon you to say something, and you did it. I imparted upon you to be a certain place, and you were there. Tears rose up inside of you. You let them come out without holding them back. You told the person, I need you. Please don't leave me. Like, you just trusted me. And so really, in essence, all he's asking you to do is get back into that place of trusting me fully, even at the risk of you so-called getting hurt.
Yeah, that right there. That's a tough one, man. Especially telling somebody you need them and don't leave. And Oh boy, yeah, that's tough.
That's what love is. That's what he's telling me. For me, if I want this wife and this family the way that he's giving me this vision, again, this is the word he gave me. That's my path. That's the way I have to do it. I'm not sure if anybody else has to do it that way, but that's what he's telling me. So that's the mandate that I'm going to walk in, and that's why I'm not just entertaining any kind of conversations or dating experiences with anybody, because I know that I'm diving back into that way of pursuing and doing love. And so if I'm putting all that into it, I just want to make sure it's a God thing. And so that's why I'm taking my time.
Better make sure. Lee, that's some serious intent, but it's good. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right, go for it, Mike.
Hold on, I think we got some comments over here. Who we got? Alicia said, "I'm dealing with a situation like this now. Just stay in prayer about it. Take it to God. A lot of times, like I was actually just saying before the show. Sometimes we get in our own way, trying to work things out in our own human heads and trying to figure out what we think is best for us and weighing our own pros and cons. And we could just let God do all that, make it easy."
So I wanna get a little clarity on this right here. Okay, so Alicia, he said he's chasing me and he's not gonna stop. He hasn't, but it's the repetitive nature of his statement that I don't get. Can you elaborate on that? I just, I'm interested in that. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, that is good. Because is it that you don't want him to chase you? Or is it that you feel like he doesn't need to because you're already here? Because I've seen that in a lot of relationships. Actually, the person is constantly chasing the person, but the person that's being chased is like, "You can stop. Like, you got me. Like, you don't got to do nothing else. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not here." And then they start to take that as the other person being insecure and thinking that they're always going to leave them, and things like that.
Yeah, we can't hear you, bro.
That goes back to a conversation. Okay, hold on. I'll comment later. She just responded back. Alicia did.
He constantly saying, "I love you." Okay. My question to you is: when he is constantly saying things, do you address him? Like letting him know that you hear him. Like, because I know sometimes I've been in a situation to where I've heard things, and I didn't address them. So people was just trying to reiterate certain things and let me know what they're saying, and I didn't address them to let them know, like, I acknowledge you, I hear you, I hear what you're saying.
Copy that. So I was able to copy that.
Oh, and he wants me to say, "Oh, I got you." So he's saying that could be for reassurance, could be for who knows. I don't know. I'm not him, so I can't say why he's saying it. I'm not him. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not him.
Do you, Alicia? Do you feel the same way? Like, do you not want to say it? Is that not how you feel, or is there an issue with you saying it as well?
She said she don't always want to say it.
Okay.
Say thank you. I love you. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I would say listen to the rest of the episode. I think this happens often on the show. We get on a topic and it kind of carries over to every other post and every other video that we talk about. Right. Let's revisit this towards the end of the episode and see if any other light bulbs go off for Alicia and see. Yeah, she said, "I told him I hear you." I'll go into yours because that one might tie into it as well.
All right, let's see what we got. As you get older, you start to pay more attention to people's mindset rather than their looks. As you get older, you start to pay more attention to people's mindset rather than looks. As you get older.
So something my grandfather used to say. What he used to say is, "It might be clean, but it looks awfully shitty to me."
Basically, everything that glitter ain't gold, huh?
Right. You saying it's clean. It might look, I'm not telling you it's not clean. It might be clean, but it looks awfully shitty to me.
Maybe that'll help, ladies and gentlemen. Nah, so I mean, for me personally, in my experiences with dating and women and all of that, I think that statement rings true for me. Not to say looks aren't still important. To me, looks are still important, but I don't think they're at the top of the list like they used to be when I was younger. When I was younger, I was just chasing a pretty face and a nice frame, or a specific look that appealed to me. And now, you know what I mean, mindset is one of the top priorities before looks even, because you could, like you said, you can look great, but you ain't got nothing to say. There's nothing between your two ears, but space. You know what I mean? So in order to catch my fancy these days, I think that we're gonna have to have intellect. We're gonna have to have some goals, some things that are not just having to do with what your ass or what your breasts or what your face look like.
Mm.
And it seems what's so crazy. It seems for society, I won't say for women, I'll say for society, that notion is backwards. The important thing to society is get your butt done, get your breasts done, get your lips done, so you can look a certain way to get the guy you want. But in my mind, it's vice versa now. I don't necessarily have to go for that.
I can't go for that. So for me, it kind of goes back. I can't go. It goes back to what's your end goal? What's the end game for you? Some people aren't looking to be happily married happily ever after. They're not looking to be married. And I think that we pursue with the end goal in mind. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just looking for a good time, not a long time, right? And I think that is evident in how we do what we do. For me, I would say that post is true. I don't know what age older is, but I know for me a while ago, mindset started becoming way more important. For instance, one of my friends, she's like, I got a girl I want you to meet. And she was like, she's pretty, but she started telling me other things about her because she knows the kind of man that I am and how I've been around pretty girls my whole life, man. From the club to doing photography to doing speaking engagements, like beauty has always been around me in some kind of capacity. And she knows that at the end of the day, like that's really not moving me into anything serious. It's nice to look at, but I learned how to appreciate stuff from a distance because everything that's pretty don't need to be touched. You know what I'm saying to you? I don't, So she was telling me more about her mind and how she thinks. And honestly, for me, that's the stuff that I find attractive. That's the stuff that makes me start to think about, I wonder if we could do purpose together.
What you think?
So for me, I'll say initially, attraction is what gets me. I'm visual, right? But that's not what keeps me. Just like my grandfather said, it looks awfully clean, but it looks clean, but it looks awfully shitty to me. You know what I'm saying? It can look good, but once that, you engage in that conversation, once you see where somebody's mind is, the biggest thing for me is their heart. See where their heart is. Everything else, I feel like you can work with it. You can manicure things. You can cultivate things. But if a woman's heart is not in the right place, for me, it's just like, ugh, like you might be cute, but you's a raggedy little bitch. So I'm just saying, for me.
Hey, I get it, brother. I understand. I understand.
I'll say it like this, man. The looks don't even get me no more from the gate at all.
So tell me about that, because I've heard cats say that, and in my mind, I don't see how it's possible, because that's all I have to go by. If we, and I think I've used this analogy before on the show. If we in the club, the music's loud, the lights is going, and I see you across the bar, I can't see your heart. I can't see your spirit. I can't see if you know Jesus, all I can see is your face and your body, and that's it. So what makes me approach you?
I'm sorry, that's the way your discernment is set up. We can pray for you. Try to figure that out. I can see a lot more than that. The thing that gets me, if I don't know a woman, I see her across the room, I mean, they all look like they went to the same doctor anyway. But you know, you can put all that stuff on. But I look at how they. I'm looking for how they engage with other people. That right there starts for me, and how my discernment is set up. Maybe not everybody. That's what gets me when I see the way they engage with somebody, even if it's something like somebody random walks up to them and I see her smile instead of snarl, right? That starts to help me form an assumption, because that's all I have within myself. I'm not going to try to walk up to her and try to get her number based on how she looks. That doesn't get me no more. That's not going to move me. I can appreciate it all day, but until I get a glimpse of what her personality might be like, I'm not moving out of my seat. I'm not moving into her.
But is that a superficial glance? A superficial glimpse because she smiles, and because I've been in situations where you look from a distance, it looks like your personality was great, but then you get to talking and you trash.
I mean, it's because it's my assumption and my interpretation of what I'm looking at. I could be wrong. All I'm saying is that looks alone is not gonna move me.
I feel that.
It would take a bad interpretation of some behavior of hers for me to. Unless I see something that makes me feel like it. So you say I need to smile and I look mean? You do whatever you want, Pookie. I'm not approaching you because you're my brother. Pookie, you know I love you. You know I love you.
Man, you can't say that.
I wouldn't tell a woman to smile more at all. Make the face that's true to your heart and true to your personality, because another guy may not want. For instance, I saw a girl. She was online talking about, I don't like Cali dudes because they smile too much. I need me a rough dude that looks at somebody and they intimidated by him. Like, that ain't me. I know I'm a smiler. So if you ain't a smiler, don't smile. Try to get somebody's attention. Do you? Because there's somebody out there that like you just like that.
Facts. I like that. Yeah. What you got, Deb?
It is what it is. Sometimes you got to call them out.
Yeah, sometimes you got to call them out.
I mean, for me, I think initial attraction is important to me because I know me, right? I am visual, and for me to just go, you know, like I wouldn't be one of them guys that would have been good like back in the day on Love Connection. You're not about to put me behind. No, you're not. Seriously, you're not about to put me behind the screen. I can't see you, and then we have this good conversation, and then I'm feeling you based on that conversation, and I'm just like, oh, cool. You know what I'm saying? She's saying cool, and then when I see you, you completely opposite of what I think is attractive. I'm not gonna, even though we have a good connection, I'm gonna. For me, I know myself, and I'm just being honest. I know myself. That connection could be good, but if I'm not attracted to you, even after we have that connection like that, it's gonna be one of those things to where it's like, damn, I just can't. I can't move forward. You know what I'm saying? I can't move forward. And like I said, for other people, that may work. Good personality, good heart. You know what I'm saying? Not the attraction, not there, whatever. That may work for some people. But for me, I'm saying I have to be attracted to that person.
I would pay good money to see that episode of Love Connection with Dub on it, where the girl came out and she wasn't his cup of tea, bro. I would pay good money.
No.
Yo.
Hey.
But you know what? When you say that, I'm the exact opposite. Like, the conversation would suffice, and that would bring my attraction level, even if she didn't look physically how I would desire it. And it's good for us to have this discussion, to know that for other people to see that you can. It's okay to be different. It's okay to have your stance and be where you're at, because we've been close for a long time and we have a difference of opinion when it comes to that. That kind of thing, an amazing conversation, bro. That is what makes me attracted to someone, like on that level.
I was going to ask you this. I was going to ask you this. So can having that mental stimulation and that conversational stimulation, can that in turn, in your eyes, make that woman that may not be that physically attractive, can that in your eyes make her more physically attractive if she has those other characteristics?
I want to say yes. I want to say yes. It can, because of how you're asking it to me, but I don't use my eyes to identify beauty.
Okay.
I think that's the difference for me. And when I say beauty, I'm talking about what am I attracted to? I find things visually appealing, but when I talk about beauty, I don't think beauty can be seen on the outside. You know what I'm saying? So to answer your question, yes.
Ankles are not beautiful to you.
Because of what they represent. They're beyond beauty. They're beyond beauty.
This nigga got to talk with his hands. Listen, because of what they represent, brother.
So this is what I will say. Beauty, physical features is not everything, but it is something. Like I said, I don't want somebody who just look good, but is, you know what I'm saying, is useless to me. I want that connection, right? I want that connection, you know, mentally. I want that connection emotionally. I want those things, but I want it packaged in something that I'm physically attracted to. I don't want to just have those things and have this amazing connection and, you know what I'm saying, everything is good, but then I'm not physically attracted to her because I know the way my mind works, right? However it works for everybody else, I know the way my mind works. And that it'll turn out to be, you know what I'm saying, like it'll turn out to be a telephone buddy, or it'll turn out to be when we hanging out, we cool, but I just really don't see her much. Like I remember when we was in Vegas, right? I remember when we was in Vegas and we had this conversation, and I said, and we were talking to friends or whatever that was there, and I said, so if you with somebody and your man is not attracted to you, and he tells you, or he's not attracted to what the look that you have on that day, right? And he says, you know, you like it, babe, but it's not attractive to me, right? So if a man just came straight out and just said, just honest with himself and honest with her, and said, like, look, babe, this is what you want to wear, or this is the look that you want to have with all this right here. I get that you want to have this look, but I'm not going to be paying much attention to you today because I really don't find it attractive. We can go out, but I'm not going to be paying much attention to you because exactly, Poop, you look stupid. You know what I'm saying? And that's, for me, that's being honest versus I'm letting her know up front, like, yeah, you know what? You asked me about my opinion. I'm telling you that's not my cup of tea. And I'm telling you, hey, I won't be paying much attention to you today looking at you like that versus at least you already know from the gate versus we go somewhere and you be like, oh my God, you're not even paying attention to me. You're not looking at me. What is it? What is it? Well, I'm not attracted to your look.
And I think that's the honest answer, that I'm not attracted to your look, as opposed to I'm not attracted to you. You know what I mean? I think that's the because I'm still attracted to my woman, but today I'm not attracted to your look. I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that, honestly. If she's asking me, I gotta tell her the truth.
I was about to say, yeah, because like they say, everything don't need to be said. But if she asks, then, you know, of course. But for me, I know from experience that I've entertained women that weren't in a line with what I thought, like features, like, you know, yeah, they weren't trending. Like, oh, you know, oh, they're not the body type that I really like, or the hair I really like, or the face I really like. But I've seen myself time and time again entertain them and have this like kind of pursuit because of the personality, because of the conversation, because of the value that was added to my life. It's just like, bro, I can't let this pass up. Like, I need to hold on to this. You know what I'm saying to you? So, you know, to each his own.
Yeah, I you know, everybody thinks different, and I look at what worked for me, and I got to be honest with myself first. You know, I have to be honest with myself first, and I can't just say, oh yeah, this is cool, I can make it work, and then some time down the line, I'll be like, damn. Still gotta wake up to this ugly motherfucker.
You gotta be able to wake up to the same person for the rest of your life.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And I want to still feel that fire, not just because of the good conversations. Because when we're not talking, then what? You know what I'm saying? When we not, you know what I'm saying?
This is the best part of the show for me tonight. That
made me think a little bit, but I appreciate it so much.
Listen,
FBI, appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
All right, who got the next one, man? Yeah.
So I want to. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, it's on you. It's on you.
Nikisha put something up, and I want to address it. I'm not sure if you guys were able to look at it.
I tried to read it once or twice. It's a long scenario, but if you want to read it.
Yeah, let's see. Scenario: man and woman starts podcast for ministry, leads conversing all day, every day, which was building intimacy. After almost 6 months, they decide to meet in person, end up being intimate. While there, he keeps disappearing for hours at a time. Then once the woman arrives back home, he lets him know she needs time to decompress, process the event. He tells her to take her time because he doesn't want to talk to anyone. He shuts down his online ministry and tells her he needs to work on him. Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
It wasn't a question, it was just a scenario. So what do we do with it? And there's more. Ask a question.
So yeah, exactly. What is the question?
Read it from the comments. I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know.
Let's circle back. Back. What you got, Doug?
Oh, I hadn't even looked, but go ahead. Let's see what we got.
I'll look for what she's talking about in the comments while we keep going.
All right, let's see. I'm not sure if we discussed this one last week, but let's put it up anyway. Relationship tip: find someone who still knows how to talk to you when they're angry. Someone who respects you in all mindsets. I think that's important.
Put it up again.
Find someone who still knows how to talk to you when they're angry. Someone who respects you in all mind states. I think that's important. I think that's very important because for me, like I used to always say this, and I don't know if I want to continue to say this, but this is something that I would always say. I don't know a person until they pissed off at me. Once they pissed off at me, then it'll really show me who they are. You know, show me who they are when it comes to me. I don't know where I got that from, but it's just something that always stuck with me. I don't know somebody until they pissed off at me. You know, and I say that because I've seen people when they so-called love you, when they care about you, when everything is all good. Oh, you know, blah blah blah. It's butterflies, rainbows, and sunshine and all that. But then once they get pissed off at you, it's a completely different person. And the quote unquote love that they had for you, or that they were so-called displaying towards you, is not even there anymore. So was it really love, or was it just, since we good, but now that you pissed me off, we not good anymore, so I'm gonna be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, take this.
I say for me, I struggle with that just a little bit, what you said, Doug, because oftentimes I've seen the anger that people express towards me is really not them being mad at me. And sometimes they're mad at somebody else or something else because I'm the closest person to them. I get the blunt force of the experience of that anger. So my question is, how do you identify when someone's just angry or when they're angry at you?
Well, because if they're addressing something that, for me, I would say if they're addressing something that you two are going through, specifically for you. And if that person was in a decent mood before this all happened, so it wasn't no residual that's just coming off of, oh, I had a bad day, or this was all messed up, or somebody just cut me off in traffic, or whatever the case may be. But if you guys are having a conversation based on something that you two were going through, and it's specifically to maybe something that you did, maybe you did mess up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you did mess up and you really pissed somebody off. You know, maybe you messed up on, maybe it was an accident.
Are you seeing who they really are, or are you seeing just how they process those emotions?
Well, even how they process their emotions is still something. So I guess to answer that question is how they process those emotions towards me, because like I said, sometimes, you know what I'm saying, everything can be good and you can love on a person and you can be, oh my God, I want you this and this and that, until that person does something to make you feel a certain way, right? Whether intentional, whether unintentional, then all of a sudden you see what people always say, true colors, right? You see people's true colors come out, who they really are and how they really are. So I just think about like, okay, yeah, you're acting like this why everything is good. You're nice, you're loving, you miss me, you want to talk to me, this and this and that. But let me piss you off real quick. Let me see how you still react to me. Do you still care about me? Do you still, you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna get over this? Or are you just gonna keep it, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you just drove a wedge and now I can't do this and I gotta walk away from it.
And I think that I try to be careful with that, especially when you say they're true colors. Because what makes me think that in this moment of anger, everything else they did wasn't them. This is who they truly are. For me, that doesn't really compute that these are their true colors. These might be more of their colors, but why are we saying these are their true colors?
Well, not saying that these are their true colors. I'm saying when I made that comment, I said I really don't know somebody until they pissed off. Not to say that, you know what I'm saying, that that's all who they are, but I you know, like some people make the comment of saying you really don't know somebody until you see them in all 4 seasons.
Okay.
Right?
I was about to say, man, you don't really know anybody until you see them sad, till you see them happy.
Absolutely.
Till you see them in grief. When you see them extremely, you know, surprised, like it's adding another piece to the puzzle. I get that. But I wouldn't say that moment is giving you the best picture of who they are. It's just
it's not giving you the best picture of who you are, but it does give you a lot of insight on how they handle conflict when it comes to you.
And that's a big deal.
It's definitely a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Find someone who still knows how to talk to you when they're angry, someone who respects you in all mind states. So am I hearing that correctly when I'm thinking about if I'm angry and she doesn't try to match my anger, she doesn't take it personal, she talks to me in a, like she reminds me of, you know, maybe like who I am or what
I think it's more so of basically point blank what it said. You're talking to me respectfully. You're not raising your voice. You're not being condescending. You're not being short. You're not trying to make me feel small about how I feel. You know what I mean? You're literally talking to me respectfully, even if you don't agree. It's a simple of, okay, I hear what you're saying. I got you. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm listening to you and I'm hearing what you're saying. To me, agreement, it has nothing to do with being respectful or disrespectful. Just because you agree with me don't mean you're being respectful. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more so exactly what it's saying. Like if we're talking about something that I may know is a touchy subject for you, and I may have messed up, but you still are respecting me, respecting the relationship by staying calm, by like I said, not doing those things that I just previously mentioned. To me, that makes for better conversation. You know what I mean? To me, when you get to rah, it creates too much background noise. You know what I mean? So now we start maybe saying stuff we really don't mean, and we start getting off topic of what we're really here to try to do, as opposed to we sitting here talking respectfully over dinner or whatnot. It could be a heated subject, but if it's respectfully spoken about, I think that you can break a lot of barriers in that conversation.
I think when I look at it, a person responding to me out of love is not out of respect for me. It's out of self-respect. I think that when someone's yelling and they're irate that I love and they're going through something, it's not so much my respect of them. It's my own personal self-respect. Not to take this personal, not to go into that headspace. I respect you, but I respect me also. I love me also. I'm not making this decision to not amp up and go there all because of my respect for you.
Not all.
I'm doing it primarily because of my respect for me. I know what I get like when I let anger rise up. I know what it feels like when I have to go home after I've been disrespectful to somebody I love. I have to apologize to myself. I have to go through this process in my head. So yeah, I love you. I'm not doing this because of you, but mainly I'm not doing it and going crazy because of my self-respect for myself.
And that'll cause one or two things to happen, Donnie, because I've been in situations where I had to do exactly what you did for my own peace of mind, not necessarily to calm them down, but that'll cause one or two things to happen from what I've seen personally. Either they'll see that and then they'll match that energy and calm down, which was, you know what I mean, the best result that you could get from that. Like, okay, you know what? Maybe I am overreacting. You sitting here calm, being respectful. Let me check myself. That could happen, or they could take that as you don't give a fuck, right? Because we've seen that too. You just brushing me off. You really don't care. Look how you acting. You just sitting there. You know what I mean? That could be taken a certain way too. But I think at the end of the day, what really matters is, like you said, if you know you're doing something with a pure heart, and I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to jab at you or be passive aggressive. I'm really trying to sit here in a respectful manner because I don't want to get to where you at. If you can do that, it doesn't really matter if the other person gets upset by it because you're doing it out of a pure heart. Some people are just not going to be happy regardless anyway. So,
well, I'll tell you this then. Well, if that's the case, if that's the measure that we're going off of, and I know I respect myself a whole lot. If that's the case, I don't respect myself then. Because if that's the case, I can try to be calm for so long, but once I get to the point where I'm starting to be pushed, I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna definitely let you have it, and if I have to raise my voice or whatever. But I tell you like this: once I get to that point, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? And if like for me, I try my best to just talk calm. I try to, even if I feel myself getting riled up, I try my best to say, okay, look, this is what this is, you know. But when I feel like I'm being disrespected, not given the opportunity to talk, not given the opportunity to express how I feel, and you just want me to just shut up and listen to everything that you say, and I even take the time to just take the time to be quiet and listen to how you feel, and then when it's my turn to talk, and I'm not given that same respect, yeah, it pisses me off. It makes me feel, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I have it in me to say, okay, you know what? I'm not given an opportunity to talk, so I'm gonna get off this phone. Sometimes when that person is, you know what I'm saying, when something is just so meaningful to me and I'm still not giving it, because I know once I get off that phone, I'm still gonna feel a certain way. So I'm not gonna allow myself to still feel a certain way by still having something so pent up in me because I didn't have an opportunity to say it. So I'm gonna say it. And if that means me going left or me, you know what I'm saying, really letting you know how I feel, I'm gonna really let you know how I feel, and I'm gonna really go left. Now after that, I'm cool, I'm done, but I'm not going to hold that in just to try to be so calm and so respectful to myself that now I get off that phone and now I get out of that person's presence and I'm still hurt, and I still feel like I still have so much bottled up in me that I needed to get out, and it's just stuck.
But do you feel like you can get it? Oh, go ahead, D.
And that just it's another example of what we did earlier, like with the difference. Because when I say respect really comes down to the contract that you made with another person. And so I wouldn't say that you don't respect yourself because you lash out like that. I would say that you're in alignment with whatever your agreement of respect is with yourself. We have different agreements of respect. You might do better with anger than I do. You might know how to occupy that emotion better than me. The agreement I made with myself that I'm respecting, because it's not that I respect myself, I'm respecting an agreement. That's what it means when I say I have self-respect. I'm respecting an agreement I made with myself. I don't dip into that because of past experiences and what I've seen myself do and how it's impacted other people that I love, innocent bystanders. So that's just my own personal agreement of respect with me. I wouldn't say it's disrespectful if you do opposite of what I do. That's just your agreement with yourself.
Yeah, I think my thing is just to leave. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, for me, it just, because I don't like to get angry, because I know, like, I may get upset, but no one has really seen me angry in a really long time. I've gotten bothered, and I've gotten, you know what I'm saying, like really upset, but I haven't really got to the point where I really be angry, because when I'm really angry, I really want to tear some shit up. So I try not to get to that point, and I try to just say, okay, you know what? It's better for me to just shut down. It's better for me to just, you know what I'm saying, just say, okay, and not deal with it. When it's that close to me, when I can't just say, okay, and not deal with it, and I have to get it out, I'm definitely going to get it out. I'm definitely going to get it out. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care. I don't give a shit. But for me, when I get to that point to where I'm just really wanting to yell and walk away, because for me, I try not to give up on people so easy. And that's what hurts me. That's what hurts me and make me go left, because I try my hardest not to just give up on people so easy. But then when I'm pushed, I'm just like, fuck it. You want it? Here you go. Just like, who's that comedian, Jamie Foxx? Look, no, baby, you just get on. Trying to, okay, well, here, you want the fart? Here, just take it. Take it all. Just take it all. Take it all. You want it? You keep on asking for it? Here, take it all.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just really trying to be honest about life. I don't have all this shit figured out. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the perfect answer. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I can say something in my time of just reflecting and just say something to give the perfect answer, but I don't always have the perfect answer. I don't always live the perfect answer. You know what I'm saying? Me being honest with myself and being honest at life, sometimes I don't handle things the best. Sometimes I do just lash off. Sometimes I do just don't give a fuck. Sometimes I do just walk away. And that's just me being honest and me being honest at life. I don't always have the right answer. I don't always have the best answer. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say, yeah, I am flawed in certain areas. Yeah, I do still lash out because certain things hurt my feelings. I do still feel a certain way. I don't always have the perfect thing to say. I don't always do the perfect thing that I'm supposed to do when I have time to think about it. Oh, damn, I should have did this. So that's that.
I'm with it. And at the end of the day, that's all we can do, because everybody is going through life differently. You know what I mean? People are raised differently. People are taught different things and that they may think are right. And then you get to a certain age, or you get with a group of people that their philosophies maybe don't agree with yours, and maybe you take on some of their philosophies. Maybe they take on some of yours. But I think that's the beautiful thing about having a circle like we have. We don't always see things just like that, just like each other does, but I think we also all bring valid life experiences to the table that we can learn from.
Yeah.
Except for Donnie. That nigga's just crazy. Halftime, ladies and gentlemen. It's halftime. Halftime. If you guys are still with us, and Doug, what you call her? What you call her, lady? She was a little trick, or what was she?
Oh, let me see, because FBI reminded me.
That was my favorite part of the show. Hashtag that and tag us on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. Hashtag, well, I don't know what it was. He's gonna put it up here. But so ladies and gentlemen, this is our second half. First half. What is it?
I'm sorry, Hayes.
Maybe don't. I don't know why I thought it was something else. Maybe don't hashtag that.
Hey, Errol, you know who that is, right?
No, who's that?
That's Hazel.
Oh, is that right? Yep. Yep. Raggedy bitch. Yeah. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for rocking with us thus far. We're about to get into our second half here, coming up shortly. Donnie, you want to do this part while I go look for this black business?
Show me the money.
Wow.
That's what we're doing on here, man. We always like to give an opportunity for people out there who have the gift of giving, as my mentor calls it, to invest in what we're doing here on Maybe Disrupt the Relationship Podcast. Stay online to get this apparel together that we're trying to work on, or if you just want to give it to us to help us do life so we can make it here every Sunday, you can go to Cash App, $ Maybe This Will Help. If you don't have Cash App, you can go to Maybe This Will Help the Podcast at Gmail, and we can tell you how to do Venmo, how to do Zelle, and PayPal. But right now, we always like to put up our Cash App. If it's $5, $10, it goes a long way. It helps us, again, stay online. It helps us to get all the technical equipment we need to stay present online. Helps us to get gas to go to work so we can afford to be here on Sundays. This is a ministry that we started because God led us to, and so we're here, just out of that obedience to a calling. And so we want to continue to do this. So anything you can contribute is much appreciated. Valentine, maybe this will help.
Also, if you guys are not following already on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube, it's maybe this will help. She got good conversation. Now you know she got good conversation. Golly, that conversation looks so good. Sheesh. Golly. Please go follow. Maybe this will help the podcast. Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Also, we're getting ready for the second half. Now's a chance to go let somebody know. So tag us, share it, like it. We appreciate it all. Donnie, you want to do your God?
What's up? You want to do what?
Girls, stay rooted. I plant my seeds, now I'm rooted. Brown skin popping, I'm rooted.
I'm ready to go to the second half of the show. I don't know what are you doing?
All right.
Yeah.
Look, before we go to the second half, right?
Yeah.
Donnie.
Yeah. I would entertain it.
Y'all have a good connection. You an entertainer?
With the Marge Simpson? Wow. Okay. Let's get to the truth.
You an entertainer?
I'm sticking with my answer.
Wow. This is a show of honesty, truth, and transparency.
When I tell you that Pretty alone has disappointed me so many times,
I'm not saying alone. I'm not saying alone.
You
That's
see
not
it?
what happened, Listen, when he gets to talking with his hands,
I'm looking for certain things in this life. So if that's where I find it at, brother, you need to clean your mustache if that's what you're smelling. I tell you what, man. And you know what? Like, it's been people that have told me time and time again, like, oh, I didn't think you would like somebody like that. Or, you're dating her? Like, yep. She got exactly what I'm looking for.
put the picture of Donnie's next ex up again. The last one you
My
put up.
next ex? Dang, bro.
Yes, God.
You know what, man? Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to the most important part of the show. Man, honestly, man, the other day, somebody who's fun, golly, like, they can have a whole, like, great, deep conversation and still be fun, who handle, like, hard situations with an air of understanding that life is temporary and that this moment doesn't define the entire relationship, like, that kind of stuff, woo!
Is that your description on Christian Mingle? That's on your main page? That little spiel you just said?
Christian Cafe. It's a new app.
Wow. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Get it together, man. Don't worry about it.
Let's get it.
This bitch. This bitch.
That was Dub.
That was not me.
All right. I got something for y'all. Y'all ready?
Let's go.
It's a minute and 7 seconds. Here we go.
First, I would say this. All of us hold on to too many people for too long. That is what I feel. A lot of it comes because of social media. It's this natural, oh, we kind of had a click. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow you back. Now we're plugged into knowing the nuance of every person we've ever met's life forever. There's not really the room for that, you know? So I think the way that I look at my life is I'm a very, very open person. I love connecting with people. But when I look at how my life is actually built, it's not sustainable for me to have active relationship with a lot of people. And so over the last 2 years, like, I've massively shed in my life. And some of them were highly intentional, like friendships that were misaligned because of character, because of integrity, because of choices. And there had to be hard conversations. Some of those hard conversations turned into reestablishing the friendship. Like, we were able to get to new ground and rebuild. Some of them were more of a awkward, harsh goodbye. And many others were really just let nature do its thing.
I like that. I definitely
Shedding
like that.
season, brother. The shedding season. Whether you want it to be or not, man, what happens is that either you shed or the quality of the relationships will disintegrate on their own because you don't have what you don't have. You can't give what you ain't got.
And when you golly, and when you try to give what you don't have, it seems like it makes matters worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you know it's something that you should shed or have that hard conversation with, and you don't, it's almost like an irritating feeling. And you're like, damn, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel so uneasy? Because you're not having that damn conversation. You're not cutting that person off like you know you should.
But the reason I think for me, the reason I have it in the past is because like they've been around for so long, or because they did something very monumental. You know, it's not, I don't want to cut them out, but the fact of the matter is that there's really no space or room for them specifically right now. And if you don't handle it like an adult, what happens is that you'll never be able to revisit that relationship again when you do need it.
Right.
You don't handle it in a mature way, and you go and there's just like, oh, and I know from experience, like you didn't handle it the right way. Now there's art and there's anger, and so when a season does come up, when that person is a good fit, they're like, no, I'm good. So just be willing to say like, oh, I don't have it in me. I don't have the time. I had to work on that over committing, saying, you know, oh man, yeah, I can do this, you do that. Like I don't have it. And you guys know from experience working with me, like you've asked me to do certain things or do certain projects of photography, something. I tell you guys, I don't have it because if I say I do and I don't follow through repetitively, that's going to damage our friendship. I just ain't got it. And anybody knows me knows since November when I started my new job, I just been tired. Yeah. I've been trying to when I have my off time, I don't really want to do a lot. I don't want to talk like I used to. I don't want to go places like I used to. I just want to be by myself more. You know what I'm saying? Some people have taken that very personal, and it's impacted our friendship or the lack of that we have now. So yeah, I just say, man, if you ever be honest with them, be honest with yourself and don't kill yourself trying to manage more relationships than you can really handle.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of for a long time I was nervous or even if there was a sense of fear about having hard conversations with people that I thought that, or not even thought that, with people that I loved, out of a fear of losing that person, and out of a fear of, well, if I say this, they're gonna think X, Y, Z, or they're gonna think something negative. And then a lot of times, like she said, some of the times when I did have that hard conversation, it was great. It was an eye opener for both parties. We were able to move on amicably and with some type of understanding of how I feel, how they feel, and the friendship flourished and it ended up great. Some other times it was one of those things where it kind of dissolved itself. Like we had the conversation, we both said okay, we understood, it kind of just fizzled out on its own. But at the end of the day, the conversation has to, I feel like, in order to preserve for yourself and for the other person, I feel like those hard conversations, if you care about the person, they just need to be had. They're not always going to be easy. They're not always going to end the way that you feel that they should end. But at the end of the day, you can look back and say, hey, I did what I was supposed to do, and I told them how I felt about X, Y, Z.
Are there any relationships you guys are in right now that you know need to come to an end because they just don't fit in the season?
Yeah. Yep.
Are you prepared to do something about that?
Yeah. I think that because for me, I have to make game plans in my head. Like, okay, I'm gonna go in it like this, and I'm gonna say X, Y, Z, and I'm gonna tell them how I feel, and then after I do that in my head, then I go through the scenarios of how they might respond. So they might respond in A category, which would be good, or B category, which might be bad. Then after that, I go through in my head. So if they go negative, this will be what I say. If they go positive, then you know what I mean. So for me, it's a process. And by the time I get to the end of the process, what I'm learning about myself is I'll say, I'll do it later, and then it don't happen. So right now, go ahead.
No, I sorry, I didn't let Doug answer it either. You got any relationships you know need to come to an end in this season?
I'll say this. How I feel, and as I experience more life, and as I go through stuff, I take my life serious, and I try to stay. I try to stay where I try to look and see where I'm valued at. Right. If I don't feel like I'm valued somewhere, then I'm just like, it is what it is. I feel like everybody does what they want to do and what's best for them, and I can't be the judge on what's best for somebody else, right? So sometimes instead of even just saying, okay, well, we need to have this conversation. We need this. Why do we need to have a conversation? If everybody is doing what's best for them, some relationships are going to fall off. Some just whatever is going to fall off, and it's not that it has to fall off in animosity. It's not that it has to fall off. You know what I'm saying? Angry or anything like that. I feel like for me, and I hope everyone knows, what I'm saying, for themselves where they're valued at, right? I feel like at this time is no point in wasting time on or even making a big deal on friendships that I'm not valued at. Where I'm valued at, I let that flourish. I let that grow. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in a situation to where I feel like I'm not valued at, you know what I mean? There's no point in making a big deal. Maybe later on in the future, I may feel, what I'm saying, I'm valued in that area again, or in that friendship, or in that, what I'm saying, that family, whatever. But I feel like I'm not gonna make a big deal. I'm not going to have a conversation that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's like I keep on saying value, 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 value. You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't feel like I'm valued in a situation, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I'm gonna just say, okay, you know what? It is what it is. Life is life. Everybody lives their life. If it comes back to a point to where I feel valued again, then I feel valued. If I don't feel like I'm being valued, it's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no love lost. I'm not gonna bite nobody's head off. It just is what it is.
I've seen this has been repetitive in my life. People who didn't feel like they were valued the way they wanted to be valued by me, and I try to throw that out just to add that to the conversation, because sometimes people are not valued the way they want to be valued, and that's really the value that they're looking for. The only one they can really see sometimes, unless their eyes are opened up to it. And like Doug was saying, I feel like it's okay to not take it personal and let things dissolve and kind of be where they are. But I think the takeaway from this for me is what I'm hearing is that don't lash out at somebody because you're not getting what you want in a situation. And if you do lash out or if you do change how you are, then know that that's not a reflection of them. That's really a reflection of where you've been the whole time. Because I was taught, and what I try to practice is that I stay where I'm called. Because if I try to abandon anything prematurely because of how I feel, I got to give God an answer for that. I try to stay as long, and I haven't done it every time, but I try to stay there until God calls me to do something different. Because if I've been called to a place, I've been called to serve in that place, not necessarily to be served. Kind of like the same reason Jesus came. I'm there washing feet, or trying to serve, or trying to help to the best capacity that I can. If I'm not being appreciated, God already reminded me, you don't have to thank the mailman or tip the mailman because the post office pays the mailman. So if I sent you, I'm going to compensate you. I'm going to make sure you're taken care of. If I'm appreciating you and I'm telling you all is good and I'm making sure you have all you need, your needs are met, just continue to do what I called you to do. And I had to stop looking for people to bring that into my life when they're not the ones who called me to. And I know that that's challenging, especially in certain seasons where I feel like I wasn't getting the comfort and stuff that I needed in my brotherhood and my sisterhood and my family or my friends or my work. And those are the seasons where God told me that I always love you, value you, and trust you. I'm never going to put you in a situation that's going to intentionally hurt you. So just trust me and stay there until I call you somewhere else. Can't hear you, Mike.
I was just co-signing what you were saying. I said that's good.
When you think about this narrow road that Jesus, God has called us down, it really does leave, for me, it leaves little room for ego. I can bring all my emotions, I can bring all my processes and everything, but in order for it to be with me on this narrow path, they have to be well managed because they're going to try to lead me off to something very different. So I understand the human tendency we have to fight with these ideals of how to do life, but for me, I really do try to commit my life to doing what God has called me to do, even if nobody on this planet or world can see why I'm doing it or appreciate why I'm doing it. And I've been in that situation multiple times.
For me, letting go of pride and ego is the reason why sometimes a conversation is not needed. Because for me, letting go of pride and ego is just like, hey, you know what? Is it my pride? Is it my ego that's making me feel a certain way? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Is it expectations? Is it whatever that's making me feel a certain way? So that's why I say, okay, you know what? To even combat that, there's no need. You know, life happens. Everyone lives their life. Everyone has to do what they're called to do at that specific time. You know what I mean? And whatever happens with it, it happens with it, you know. And that's why I said, like, you know, maybe at certain times it's like, okay, well, it's like I think about it as 35 freeway in Texas, right? You have the 35 freeway, you know what I'm saying? Then when it gets up to Dallas Fort Worth, it spreads, it opens up, it goes in two different directions. But then once it get past that area, it comes back to that same, you know what I'm saying, freeway. So I just thought about that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think about it like that. Sometimes you going on that path, and sometimes, you know, you need that split, you need that separation, you need that going different directions, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you may come back, you know what I mean? Sometimes you may come back to where you guys left off. Sometimes you may end up, once you get in that separation, you may veer off to another freeway, another highway, because it's a different direction. It is what it is. Like, I can't tell nobody how to live their life, what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Obviously, you know, in the human aspect of it, sometimes things will get to me. Sometimes things will bother me and make me feel a certain way. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I am not that person. Everybody is there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if I feel if I feel like that person values me enough to want to keep me in their life, great. You know what I'm saying? If they don't value me enough, if they like, okay, well, I got my own shit, you know what I'm saying, to do, great. That's cool too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna get mad at nobody. I'm not gonna whatever it is. I'm not gonna get mad. I feel like everybody should lead their own life. Like I said, like, if I am part of that person's life, cool. You know what I'm saying? Great. You know what I mean? If that person's feel like, okay, they're going in a different direction and we need to, you know what I'm saying, take some time apart, cool, great. I'm not mad. Either way it goes, I'm not mad. When I say value, you know what I'm saying, it's not coming from a place of malice or anything else. It's just, I know sometimes when you don't value something, it can almost be feel like it's pushed to the side, and it can feel like it's, you know what I'm saying, like not taken care of. So instead of, you know what I'm saying, being a situation to where I feel like I'm being pushed to the side or I'm not being taken care of, I'm gonna just say, hey, you know what, that, you know what I'm saying, whoever gonna do their thing, everybody does their thing, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, if it gets back to the point to where it's back, you know what I'm saying, nurturing or valued like that, it's cool. If not, it's cool.
I see, and I feel like this is where for me conflict comes in, because it's like if I may value things differently than you value things. So you may need, in your relationships or your friendships, you may need somebody to call you every day, check on you 3 or 4 times a week, go out at least once or twice during the week, and then go out on the weekends. For me, I could talk to you once a month and still have those strong feelings of love and praying for you on a daily basis, and still think our friendship is just as tight as it was before. All the while you're feeling like I don't value you, and I'm feeling like we good. The only thing that can separate that is conversation, and that's explaining to each other what we need out of the relationship from each other. If that never happens, I can't expect you to feel valued or not valued, and same for me. I can't get mad at you for never calling me or never hanging out with me if we haven't had that conversation.
That makes me think about like Mike, you being in a relationship and having a son. That those are big deals. They occupy a lot of your head and heart space, right? Me being a single man, I have all my entrepreneurial things and stuff like that, and so I think there's I desire to be a father and a husband, and so there's certain parts that I yearn for that I look to get from my friends in my circle, but they may not be yearning for the same thing because they have it. You know what I'm saying? To you, out of this circle, the only people who don't have kids is me and Dub. Everybody else got a child. That's a replication of them that they care for and look to every day, and it brings them a certain kind of either satisfaction or responsibility. You know what I'm saying to you? So I think that sometimes you have people who don't have the same voice and they're not looking for the same thing. And I was watching this movie yesterday, and the person on there was a therapist, and they said, look at your person and ask two questions. What am I hoping and looking for from this person? What is this person hoping and looking for from me? And have a conversation about that. Because like we had that group text, and I'm like, I want people that do day-to-day life with me. Not just call me when you need something or when we need to go on a break. I'm looking for that day-to-day thing, but everybody don't have that kind of capacity or that need. Like I already got people I do day-to-day with. You're not respectfully, you're not one of my day-to-day people. Can you be okay with that? And be like, damn, all right. I'm a holiday or need to get away type person, you know, and sometimes you just learn to just appreciate what you do have, even though it's not what you want, as long as you're not being, like you said, misvalued or mistreated in that, but then still be open and willing to go find what it is you need, even if it's somewhere outside of your circle, hopefully not outside of your relationship. You know? Yeah. So
I think that's true, but I also feel like, you know what I mean? You know, in any relationship, I feel like there should be some give and take, especially if it's a relationship that you deem is important, right? In a relationship that you clearly want to flourish. So, you know what I mean? For instance, we'll just keep using the same example. For instance, if Donnie needs a day-to-day person, and I'm saying, okay, I'm not really that day-to-day type of friend. Where can we meet in the middle? Because I want you in my life. You want me in your life. So how can we still do this thing together?
This goes back to what Dub said. Everybody's doing their best.
Yeah.
So why would we ask anybody to change it?
Well, are we assuming everybody is doing their best, or has everybody said I'm doing my best?
Okay, fair enough.
Because if we just assuming everybody's doing their best, that ain't really fact.
Fair enough. They might have. Oh, I got extra time. I didn't know you wanted it. Let's hang out on Tuesdays. Yeah, I got you.
But I just think it's important to have these conversations, even amongst us, like we're having right now. Like I feel like these are conversations that we have because you have to gauge people. You can't just assume that, well, I can't assume that because Dub is off work every day, I can just come over to his house every single day and sit in his house. I can't assume that because Donnie says I'm busy with my work that he don't never have time for me. I can't assume that. We got to talk.
Gotta talk. Y'all ready for another video, man?
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
Dub, you wanna pick it?
Let's see what we got.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't even know what this about, but
Man, why I keep getting looked over? I do nothing but great shit. But then when somebody else emulate what I do, the world slap them on the ass and applaud. Like, why don't nobody notice me? Because it wasn't my time yet. I wasn't ready to receive these blessings. These blessings wasn't denied. They was just delayed. So now I'm receiving my blessings.
Oh.
Can I run that back?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why it ain't going?
Man, why I keep getting looked over? I do nothing but great shit. But then when somebody else emulate what I do, the world slap them on the ass and applaud. Like, why don't nobody notice me? Because it wasn't my time yet. I wasn't ready to receive these blessings. These blessings wasn't denied. They was just delayed. So now I'm receiving my blessings.
Time, man. Time.
That's yeah. I think as entrepreneurs, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think especially being an entrepreneur, we've all we've all experienced that feeling of, man, I did this same thing, but I'm not getting my due diligence, or you know what I mean? Because we all think the shit that we put out into the world as far as our own individual craft is dope. And so when we see that it's not getting what it should be getting, sometimes we get into that mindset like he had, like, man, why am I reaping the benefits? Like, I see he did the same exact thing, and I see he's blowing up over there, but I'm doing it, and I'm still sitting here, you know what I mean, scraping pennies or trying to come up with new ideas because I'm feeling like my ideas that I have or what I'm putting out into the world as far as my craft goes is not good enough. But like he said, it's just, you know, you have to keep going and keep pressing, because you know what I mean. You could keep going and keep pressing and almost be there and keep pressing and then stop, not knowing that very next client or that very next whatever that you do in your personal life, that was going to be your ticket to greatness. You know what I mean? But you stopped because you felt like you wasn't getting the shine that you deserved at that time. I think if a lot of people stopped doing it for shine and started doing it because it's what they feel that they called to do, or what they feel that they love to do, or what they feel like they're meant to do in life, then they wouldn't be so worried about why I'm not being seen. I'm doing it because I love it. See me or not, I'm gonna still do what the fuck I want to do.
Right. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. I feel like timing is very important. Timing is definitely important. Sometimes you feel like something that God was showing me not too long ago is just prayer and answer prayer. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bible says, God will not hold back one good thing from you. And it makes me think about stuff that I prayed for, or it made me think about stuff that I want. You know what I mean? And it just makes me look at, it's either a no, a yes, or not right now. And even the no's it wasn't a good thing for me. You know, if God is saying he won't hold back not one good thing for me, even the stuff that he said no to, it wasn't good for me. You know, and even the stuff that, okay, not right now, it's not good for me right now. He may give it to me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, no, okay, cool, God, it wasn't a good thing for me. I'm glad it may hurt, but it wasn't a good thing for me, so I'm glad it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I didn't get it. Or yes, okay, cool, yes, cool, I can have it. Or just not right now. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Now I have to understand that it's not a good thing for me right now. So understanding that is just knowing how important timing is, and sometimes timing is not always on our time, and sometimes though that time it hurts us, because it's like, man, but God, but this, but you see what I'm going through, and this and this and that. But it's like, dude, just calm down. You know what I'm saying? It's not the right time. It is not the right time. Just calm down. But God, you see how hurt I am, and you see how I want to do this, and you see how I want to offer myself, and you see how I want, and it's just not the right time. Just calm down. I got something better. Just trust me. Just trust me. Just trust me. Okay, I'm gonna just try to do my own way real quick. And since God ain't moving, I'm gonna just try to do it my own way. Well, this is what I feel. So since I feel this, I'm gonna just move in my own way. It's not the right time. Not the right time.
You know what I had to do, man? Because I used to struggle with this a lot when I was younger, trying to get into Hollywood, be an actor, be a model, all that kind of stuff. I had to take the word better out of my vocabulary. I had to stop thinking that God would do better, because I was still comparing what he would do for me to somebody else. I replaced the word better with tailored. God going to do something tailored specifically to me. And that started to help me understand a little bit more about why the weight was so important. Because the weight wasn't there for me to be able to flex later. The weight was there because it was going to fit me the way it needed to fit me. I don't want to wear what's made for somebody else. I don't want to wear a woman that's made for somebody else. I don't want to wear a job or a spotlight that's made for somebody else. I don't want to wear a car or a kid that was made for somebody else. I want what's been tailored and reserved for me. You know what I'm saying to you? And so I replaced that word better with tailored, and I started looking at my heart, and God started showing me, like, you got these idols. These idols is what got you anxious right now. If you didn't have these idols, you wouldn't be anxious. If you just trusted me, you would see that I'm sustaining you every day, and you actually have all that you need. But these idols are making you thirsty and making you look to this world as your supplier, and where you need to have status. Like, look, if I tell you you're my son and that's not good enough for you, you're in a whole world of trouble from day to day. If you need more than that to feel affirmed, to feel qualified, to feel, like I said, you're my son, and I'm going to supply all my needs according to my riches in heaven, but you want to have it in your account. Either you trying to be your own God, or you got some idols that you need to address, because if you didn't have those things, you would be perfectly fine knowing that I'm providing from day to day everything that you need.
Yeah.
That's me, though.
That's me, though. That's good. That's good. We got time for one more?
Yeah, we got time. Let's do this. Shoot, where'd it go? Okay, let's do this one right here.
I really did. I put my cards on your table, and you played your hand on it. You picked a side, and I'm respectfully asking that you respect yourself enough to stand on it. It ain't no harm, no foul, no love lost, no hate found. I'm just asking you to stay where you at, because I'm moving a lot better now that you're not around. I'm not being messy, not being funny. I'm just not dealing with all that stress. I hope you healing. I hope you growing. And I wish you nothing but the best. Be blessed.
In case you wanted to know how the conversation could go, when it's time to get on the 35 East, it just sounded a little something like this. No, that sounded like some romance relationship stuff that didn't work out the way somebody expected. But
yeah, you gotta. But at the end of the day, you gotta respect her response, because it sounded like, again, we don't know, but it sounded like maybe the guy was trying to come back around, see what was up with her back on a romantic tip, and she had to tell him like, nah. But everything she said was legit. To me, you gotta respect somebody that says, you know what I mean. It's no shot against you, basically, but I'm moving better now that you're not in my life. Cool. Whether I feel like that's accurate, whether I feel like you messed up the relationship, no matter how I feel, if in your truth says that without me in your life, you're doing better, that's enough said, and I can respect that.
You guys know I do a coaching at my job every Friday, and so this last Friday we're talking about detachment. And we talked about the art of detaching is how to separate something from yourself without violence and without doing harm. And so we talked about like the reason you want to do it without violence and without harm is because if you separate from something, you want to preserve what's going to remain. You want what's going to remain to be healthy. So you don't want to villainize this person and lash out and bring up all these emotions and anger and stuff to separate from them, because you bring that back to what you are keeping. And now what you're keeping is going to be impacted and affected by all those emotions that weren't necessarily necessary for you to detach. So I'm practicing the art of detaching absent violence and harm. Just doing it from a very calm and respectful place. I'm thinking about my future. There's nothing I need to teach you, show you, make you understand. I'm just giving. This is a courtesy and a boundary as I progress on without you.
Have you got negative feedback in that approach? Like people feeling like, oh, you just don't care or anything? Yeah.
I've been called a lot of things. I had a lot of things said about me, but because I wasn't in a place to absorb them, it didn't really matter. I knew what I needed to do, and I knew what was at stake, and I knew that I saw the people who responded negatively. I sympathized with them because I could see the child in them having a temper tantrum, and I recognized like I've been there before too. So it's all good. They'll be okay. They'll get over it. I didn't need to defend myself in that moment. I didn't need to try to correct them. I knew that time would tell all truth. And I knew that if they didn't understand now, just keep on living. You'll get it. Me and Kerry went through this multiple times. He used to be so pissed off at what I did as a brother. And then he became a big brother to a few other men. He would call me and be like, bro, I get it now. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Honestly, my mentor told me, he said, Jesus never tried to defend himself. You don't have to try to defend yourself. Like, my reputation's all I got. He said, but your reputation with God knows you. that's really the only person who can move and shake anything.
Right.
Like what Dub was saying earlier, like, you know, according to like God, you won't withhold anything from people who are trying to live upright. Like as long as you're good with God, ain't nobody else got a heaven and hell to put you in or a blessing that they can keep you from.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was quick. Y'all want to do one more?
Yeah, might as well.
Jesus Christ! Put on! So I had to swallow this shit.
Where's the? Oh, here it is, right here. All right, check this out.
I want to share a quote someone once said to me because it rings true here. Quote, when God brings you the original, the devil will always bring you an imposter. End quote. Meaning, when that right guy comes into your life, a lot of times some other guy is going to come around and that other guy is there to distract you. That other guy is meant to completely take you off your path and it's going to be hard to figure out who is who because they look very similar. It's not clear who comes first. Sometimes the imposter comes right before the original. Sometimes the original comes and the imposter follows shortly after. I've seen it time and time again. When the imposter comes, he talks some good game. He does the things that make you think he's the most logical choice or he could be the more logical choice. Again, that's why you need to learn to talk to God.
So,
what, Mike?
Listen, that last piece was perfect. Well, you need to learn how to talk to God. But to that first piece, I don't think for me, I've necessarily dealt with that imposter syndrome. For me, it's always when I get into a spot where I feel like I'm on track with God, I'm on track with life. You know, I feel like that's when the devil sends things that he knows that I'm struggling with times a million. So if I'm focused on working out, then you know what I mean. Here comes something where, you know, something that he knows I want to do that's going to take me away from working out. Or if I'm focused on my relationship, here comes an ex or something in my DMs that, you know what I mean, we may have great chemistry or whatever the case to try to distract me from my focus of my relationship. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily have those imposter issues, but I do know that the devil definitely sends out shit when you're trying to get on your P's and Q's.
I used to call it the decoy. And I use this often. You can ask Dub. I've been talking about the bait for so long. Watch out, don't take the bait.
Good. That's good.
Because it was a movie with who's Mark? What's his name? Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington. And they were going to rob this bank. And so they set the donut shop across the street. Two guns. They set the donut shop across the street on fire to get all of the responders to go over there, so that then they wouldn't have they didn't have the capacity to, or they'd be distracted from them actually robbing the bank. And I feel like because the enemy, the devil, doesn't have the power to make us stop, all he does is try to give us things to distract us, present things to distract us from what we're supposed to be doing. He can't stop or dissolve our calling, so he just tries to what? The battlefield is the mind, distract us and keep us occupied. Me and Doug used to listen to this pastor that said that the enemy wants to rob you of your best years. You know, he just wants to preoccupy you with your phone or other conversations or other activities or other assignments all the time. Purpose is going undone. Calling is going unfulfilled.
Good. Yep.
Gotta watch out for them decoys, man, and not take the bait. And like you said, man, they can look like God. They can look like the real thing, but you talk to God, like, no, that is such an odd thing, because look at everything else I'm doing in your life. It's all aligned. This thing is off. He'll show you in his word if it's him or if it's not. He'll provoke you in the spirit to let you know, and we don't have to lean to our own understanding in those matters. Especially because sometimes the enemy will give you what you want while God is giving you something that he wants. And because of our desire to want to, self-preserve and self-please, we'll find a way to justify doing what we want and say this has to be God because He's so good and He loves me. When 100%. God is trying to do the exact opposite, confirm it with His word and through prayer, man.
100%.
Just because it's admirable to do doesn't mean you have to do it. It doesn't mean that it's God.
Yeah.
See your wheels turning, Doug.
No, it just makes me think about conversations. You know what I'm saying? Conversations that I've had, and same thing. Just about praying about stuff before. Even if you feel something, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like it's the right thing, just like the Word of God says, there's a way that seems right, but in the end is death. It's just, yeah. Yeah.
You on mute, bro.
I said we gotta ask the question, man. It's been some sobering silent moments tonight, man. What's resonating with y'all, man, before we get out of here tonight? What's really for us? What's really hit us tonight?
For me, it was the piece about the having those hard conversations. Just in hearing myself talking about how I go through this whole drawn out process, and then at the end of all of this process, it's just like I've lost the fuel behind the engine to actually go and do it, and then you end up putting it off, and then you get to the point again, you say, okay, now I'm gonna do it, and then you start to go through that process again. When at the end of the day, it's just about just get out there and do it. What's the worst that can happen? You be open and honest with somebody that you care about. And at the end of the day, you either gonna receive it or you're not. But I have to do what I believe I feel like everybody should do what they believe that's the right thing to do for them.
What you got?
I think it's just what makes me think about stuff. What I think about is conversation, having a conversation, the need to have a conversation or the lack thereof. The not a need to have a conversation.
Right.
Is it better to just let things flow? You know what I'm saying? Let it just, naturally go where it's gonna go, or is it, you know what I'm saying? Is it worth having a conversation? And it's like, who knows?
Who knows? Would you say that?
Yeah, I'll say the same thing. Who knows? I think what really resonated with me tonight, I really appreciate just going back and forth a little bit with Doug and seeing like it's okay to stand wherever you are, because we're all taking our best shot at this experiment called life. You know what I'm saying to you, and how I really, for me, it just continued to reaffirm how we can have this, bond that me and Harold have, and in certain areas be very different, and they actually are a benefit to us. They help us to stay open and not get so closed-minded about certain things. And everybody I don't allow to speak into my life, but he's one of those people. And it would be so much that God would make him so different from me in certain arenas to make sure that I continue to grow. Does that kind of make sense? So that's what I think most about tonight, just where I see myself being challenged. Because like Doug said it earlier, like he tries not to give up on people too quickly. And that used to be my thing. I'm out, I'm good. It ain't looking right, ain't feeling right. I'm done. He's helped me to slow down with that. And actually look a little bit deeper and why I was so quick to just something different. Now my staying power is a little bit stronger. And I think it's because of conversations like we had tonight that's really helping me continue to grow and evolve like that. And I want it and thirsty for it, because I want to be the husband God's called me to be. I want to be the father God's called me to be. And I know that I do not have you guys as brothers by accident. There's certain things that you guys do and things that I don't necessarily like that are actually what I need, that are going to help me be the kind of father and husband I need to be. And he knew that only you guys would be able to speak into my life and partner with me in a way that I'll be able to receive it and evolve from it. So I like these kind of conversations, and you guys are not attractive at all, but that's what draws me here to y'all. These kind of conversations. You're ugly, but I'm still here with you every Sunday. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. That's very humbling. That's very humbling.
Oh man, all right. Well, you know what time of the day it is for the show. At the end of the show, we always like to do this. We offer a mental health hotline number. It's called the Access Line. It's 1-800-854-7771. 1-800-854-7771. It's the number you can call if you have a mental health emergency, or if you're just seeking to get connected to a counselor or therapist or a support group. Maybe there's something going on in your life. Maybe something you heard tonight triggered you, and you want to be able to have a different kind of conversation with your spouse or with your kids or with your parent. You don't know how to start that conversation, or maybe something traumatic happened to you and it's hindering you from having a healthy kind of relationship with yourself or with your present spouse. And you want to get connected to someone to help you walk through or talk through some of those situations. This is the number you can call: 1-800-854-7771. 1-800-854-7771. And don't forget, man, you can always go to the Word of God and get therapy and get insight and understanding, get healing and get comfort as well. You can always, like Doug tells you, can go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Find comfort and get clarity by working out and different things like that. So don't ever think it's just one path to mental health. There are multiple ways to get to the mental health place that you really need to be at. And the reason we push it so hard is because we believe that if you really try to live your best life, it's going to come from your best decisions. And your best decisions are going to come from your best mindset. And so really taking care of and thinking about what you're thinking about and what you're meditating on is really where you want to start, because your meditations are creating the life that you have to live one way or another. They're driving your behaviors. So, yeah, that's why we put that up at the end of the show. Y'all want to add anything, fellas?
Just the usual thank yous and appreciation to the audience, both on YouTube, Facebook, however you're watching. We appreciate you. Continue to tap in. I don't got nothing else.
Pastor Cutley, what you got for us?
I ain't got nothing. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and even the comments, even engaging in the comments and giving you guys input. As always, appreciate it. So just thank you.
All right. Mike, you praying us out since you did so wonderfully at the beginning?
That's going to be a no for me, buddy.
All right. I'm going to pray in French one day. The whole prayer is going to be in French. But I'll pray without noise. Yahweh, we come to you now. We thank you, God, for all that you've done. You have one of your vessels expressed to me this week that praise is thanking you for what you've done, and worship is thanking you and acknowledging you for who you are. And so we come to you right now, hopefully with a heart of gratitude, but in a place of worship, not necessarily looking for anything more. Thankful for all that you've done, but just being who you are, The more we come to understand that you're more than just God, and Lord and Savior, all these things, more than even just our Creator. We just worship you because you're worthy of it. We thank you that you would even call us to do this kind of ministry. As unorthodox as it may seem at times to certain people, we thank you that we know that we're in alignment. We thank you we can come here with our full transparent selves, and people can watch us work out our faith. They can watch us work out our emotions. They can watch us work out our brotherhood. We almost want to thank you that nothing in our life is perfect. It's tailored to it, but it's not perfect. It actually gives us a great platform to help other people who are struggling with life to see how you can process and go through it in a healthy way, even when things aren't the way you want them to be. I thank you for every personality that's represented on this podcast, how different we are as brothers, but how we bring something very unique that we know that somebody in the audience can relate to. We know, we joke around, but we know that every episode has truly helped somebody, and we thank you that you would see fit to use us for this call. We thank you for tonight and everything that was discussed. Every person that needed to hear something, I pray that they heard it and that they sit with it and meditate with it, that it doesn't just leave their mouth, their eyes, and their ears, that they sit with it so that it can impact their lives. I pray, Lord, that right now you're transforming beliefs, that you're removing limited understanding and limited beliefs, Father God, that you're removing toxic traits. We thank you, Father God, even the toxic pursuits. We thank you that you're partnering with us to really discipline this flesh. I thank you, Father God, that you're helping us to break generational curses by not relying on these generational excuses that we've been justifying our behavior with. We thank you, God, that you're bringing the people into our life that we need, and the people who are already there won't be jealous or insecure or upset about the additions that you're making to our life. We thank you, Father God, that as we have to transition away from certain friendships, that people, or we're just praying, they will have understanding, and that there will be support, Father God, and the things that the people we love have been called to do, even if they've been called to do without us. We thank you, Father God, that as the enemy tries to speak to us and present us with different ideas, you will expose the lie in it. You will expose the decoy and the bait, and that we will not fall prey to it. We thank you, Father God, we will just be so determined to be the light from day to day, that we won't worry about when things aren't working out the way we want them to, because we just trust that it's all working out together for our good. Thank you, God, that we're not just relying on our sight, that our faith is actually shows us more than what our sight does. Our faith tells us the future because our faith is in your promise. And so whatever we see in our situations, I pray you just remember that whatever I see is only a part of the picture. When it's all said and done, your word never returns void. It always accomplishes its purpose. So I thank you for that. Help us to be on the right side of it every single time. Help us to be on the side of faith and courage. Help us to be on the side of patience. Help us to be on the side of generosity. Help us to be on the side of kindness, Father God. In everything we seek to do, Father God, help us to, like my tattoo says, to remember that we're not our own. That this life isn't about our total happiness. It's about obedience to you and what brings you glory. And we know encompassed in that, we're going to have a satisfaction and fulfillment beyond what we could even ask for. So we thank you as you called us to leave jobs, leave relationships, leave cities and states, and go into new places and new territory. We will go with boldness, not worrying about how we're going to sustain, knowing that if we're obedient to you and staying along our path, that when we get there, provision will be provided. We thank you, Father God, that heal our hearts so that we can actually welcome in new friends. Help us to stop relying on the philosophies and the theology of these songs that tell us no new friends, that give us these toxic ideas about what relationships really are. Help us to get back to these pure places where we just trust you, like in a crazy way, where it looks crazy to the world, but it's really natural for you because we were built to trust you. Thank you, Father God. You're helping us to return back to those places by helping us to get healed. Father God, I pray and I just confess that no PTSD can exist in the minds and hearts of your believers, your children. And help us to continue to be a vessel of healing for those around us. Help us to speak, Father God, speak up for you and for your word. We're in different environments where people are saying things that are purely from the darkness. Help us to be used for that purpose, Father God. We thank you that we're not seeking to be above anybody or seeking to even be perfect in anybody else's eyes, but help us just to know that right where we are is where we need to be of use for the kingdom. We thank you for this night. I pray, Lord, that everyone listening has an encounter with you tonight. Either it's a touch of comfort or healing or just some joy. Maybe we encounter you tonight and get a full refreshing so that we can go forward tomorrow, if you say the same, to be the light in this world. We thank you that the days draw close to when your son Jesus will return. But until then, help us to do the work of you that sent us. Because your word said that the night comes when we cannot work anymore. So we don't want to have any of those regrets. Help us to simply be present and diligent in the day, in the moment, knowing that one day we'll hear you say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Help us to know that the world and all of it belongs to you, and you're freely giving it to us as we continue to stay on our path. We thank you for your grace that helps us to recover when we go astray. We thank you for your love that models for us how you want us to love other people. We thank you for your forgiveness that helps to keep us pure. We say all this in the name of your son, Jesus the Messiah. Amen. I lost my brothers. All
Hmm.
right, fellas. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. Love y'all. See you next Sunday.